At the moment, there are more than 60 Boost nominators on Medium. Till September, it will be 100. These folks support Medium's internal curation team by nominating your stories for a big fat boost. Then it's up to Medium to decide whether to boost your piece or not. Per week, nominators can nominate up to 5 stories for a boost, 20 stories per month, and if they are 100% successful, they can earn $900. For writers, boost means more views, more reads, and more earnings. The 5 elements Medium considers when evaluating stories for boosting are: is the story constructive? Is it original? Is it well crafted? Is it memorable? And does the author speak from relevant experience? Beside these official criteria, in my interview with Ariel, director of Publisher Growth, she also added a 6th element: the importance of human touch. But we also have to think about what a specific Boost nominator might be looking for, because each nominator has their own preferences and taste. So let's have a look behind the scenes and talk to one of Medium's first Boost curators called Thomas Smith.
Well, my name's Thomas Smith, and I am the CEO of Gatto Images. I'm also a SEO consultant and a YouTuber. And I started Gatto Images in 2010. We did a lot of work with AI for historical archives. We're a photo agency that uses a lot of AI technologies. My background personally is in cognitive science, so I come at it from that perspective.
And Tom, how long have you been writing on Medium?
In 2019, I started writing on Medium, mostly just to share the expertise I'd built up over about 10 years of running my company. And that evolved. I've written over 600 Medium articles so far. So it's been a long journey since then. It's been a lot of different articles. I did launch a publication a couple of years ago on Medium. It was actually something I had started back in 2006 and had grown as a separate site. And I brought it over to Medium called DIY Life Tech. It's DIYLifetech.com. It's also the sort of topic of my YouTube channel. And so I had some experience running a publication on Medium and writing on the platform, and then moved into this new opportunity, this new partnership with Medium as a Boost curator.
I heard Medium approached you and asked you to become a nominator. Is this right?
Medium had reached out to me and, kind of given me the broad outline of this program as it was coming together. Of course, I was really excited to participate. And the idea would be to launch a publication, which turned out to be The Generator, a publication about generative AI that launched in March, and that I would be able to run that publication and also participate as a curator to find great generative AI writing across the platform.
Currently, there are more than 500 folks on the waitlist for nominators, holding their breath, waiting to get a response. What do you think? Why did Medium pick you?
I've written a lot about that topic on Medium. It's my background. It's a lot of what my company, it ties into what my company does with AI. I was an OpenAI beta tester, so I got to get in on the ground floor and sort of see these technologies in action a couple of years ago. So I knew how groundbreaking they were going to be. And again, that combination of that expertise and background and having written a lot about these topics on Medium before, I think was interesting to the platform. So they approached me about starting this publication. I was very excited about the new Boost program, which I think is awesome. So I was very happy to be a Boost curator there.
And Medium is looking for taste. Taste comes down to having the experience to know what is true, what matters, and where there is debate. Could you tell us a bit more about the idea of taste?
Yeah, so there's this idea of taste, which is pretty subjective. And I think that's the point of the program really is to say, okay, Medium's curators aren't necessarily going to know about every field out there from, literature to AI in this case. So instead of relying on Medium's own curators to highlight great stories, let's bring people on board who are already experts, ideally are already involved on Medium, and can, find the stories that are really great. And so, having written a lot of Medium, I know it performs well on the platform, having already run a publication on the platform, and then having this 10 plus years of experience with AI and several years now of experience with generative AI, I think it gives me the ability to find those stories on the platform that are really great, that really go in depth, that kind of cut above the average level of just sharing, thoughts about something and really delve deeply into ethics around generative AI, specific tool reviews and tests, really novel use cases, ways people can apply this to improve their own businesses, all these sorts of things that, it might be hard to find that perfect story on the platform.
Could you be a bit more specific? What are you looking for in particular in your field as a nominator, Tom?
Particularly, I'm looking for, as a boost curator, I'm looking for stories that really go that extra mile, that really go in depth. I like stories that share a lot of real world examples, not just sort of theorizing, but talking about, okay, how can you actually go and use this tool, implement this process? And what does it actually mean for you as a person, working in the space or maybe not working in the space?
I'm not a techie, I'm a marketing professional, and I write for your publication, The Generator. What I like is that you're not only looking for the techie perspective, but for different voices.
So I love to see that real world sort of hands-on expert opinions. I love to see sort of underrepresented voices or people from other places other than just the tech space. So I'm kind of a techie by nature, and I know a lot of people who kind of come at generative AI from that perspective, and that's wonderful. I think it's very helpful to have that perspective since obviously it's a groundbreaking technology. But I also really am looking for stories where people come at it from, again, ethical or legal perspectives, or from the perspective of somebody who might be disrupted by these technologies, or even the sort of conceptual side of things, more philosophical side too. So, yeah, that's another thing that I'm looking for as a boost curator is just sort of different voices, underrepresented voices, and also looking for stories from people who maybe are really great experts on this technology and they have something really incredible to share, but they don't necessarily have a big audience on me.
Oh, that's so cool about the Boost Beta program. Anyone can get boosted. You don't need a big audience, and you can also self-publish your stories.
I think that's part of the value of the Boost program. You don't have to be a particular size of creator on Medium. You don't have to have a certain number of followers. Everybody who's writing on the platform is potentially eligible. So I'm going out there and sort of scouring the whole platform, looking for great generative AI stories, reading through them.
When I talked with Ariel, Medium's director of publisher growth, she mentioned that Medium wants to find hidden gems and diamonds in the rough. Could you elaborate on this a bit more?
Maybe they have 100 followers or something like that on Medium, or even fewer, but they just write an incredible piece. The curators like me are there to, again, use our taste and find those kind of diamonds in the rough, or stories that deserve to be shared more broadly than maybe an algorithm would share them based on the person's following and those sorts of, just sort of basic engagement metrics. So that's a big piece of it too. I'm looking for those stories from really great experts or people who might otherwise have their story buried, even though it's sharing this really unique and original perspective.
How about you? Did you have any of your own stories boosted?
Yes, I've had several of my stories boosted on the platform. Again, I think they usually sort of fit that mold of detail, generally longer pieces, although there's no specific length requirement. I'm providing some value, coming at the question of generative AI from my own expertise, and then going that extra mile. The pieces that have been boosted are things where I've done extensive hands-on testing. I've got screenshots of everything I did. Maybe I've gotten access to something early. Maybe I've done a lot of research and sort of journalistic interviews and that kind of thing that get integrated in. I've produced a video to go along with my piece. I think that's a great way to distinguish a piece. If I'm doing a tutorial about some generative AI topic, I might produce an original video and embed that in the piece so people can sort of follow along. Or something that addresses generative AI from a different angle. So I'm Jewish. I wrote a piece about uncovering anti-Semitism and biases in image generation software. I was able to do a lot of extensive testing and then coming at it from a different perspective and really advocating for removing the biases that are present in some of these systems. And that was an example of a piece that got boosted, I think, because, I was coming at a technical topic from a bit of a different perspective, my own personal perspective, and trying to highlight something that hopefully would have value to society in terms of kind of finding and removing the biases in these systems.
Tom also has a special surprise for anyone who watched until this point.
So, if you have questions or you want to say, okay, does this story feel like it would work? What didn't work in this one? That kind of thing. You can always reach out to me, and it's, I think, really meant to be a dialogue you can start to establish there. You can email me, tom@gattoimages.com. Again, it's a Medium partner boost eligible publication. So if you submit something and it's high enough quality for me to nominate, I'll nominate it, and then it's up to Medium to decide whether to boost the piece. And if you have questions, feel free to follow me, reach out on Twitter at TomSmith585.
Thank you so much, Tom. It was a pleasure talking to you and getting a behind the scenes look. And if you like this interview with Tom, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the next video.